In this article, we explore the fascinating field of psychology to show you how beginning to ignore her can just be your key to attracting the woman of your dreams if you're having trouble making an impression on potential partners. Discover fascinating facts about women and how they react to specific types of attention as you examine the power of ignoring women and discover how this strategy may change the dynamics of attraction. Embrace the power of ignoring a woman to pique her interest and create curiosity, which will ultimately make you more attractive. Learn these 12 psychological tricks to get a better understanding of how to effectively attract women. Explore this unconventional strategy and apply psychologically based ideas to improve your dating experience. To see more stuff such to this, remember to subscribe to the Stoic Goddess and use the like button to show your support. Begin disregarding her on the first leg of your journey. The first thing a high-value man should learn is to be brave. You should approach a woman with confidence before even considering acting cold or ignoring her. Why? Because waiting for life to happen to you is a loser's game, and a man who knows his worth acts without waiting. After all, fortune favors the brave. I value men who take calculated risks because they know that doing so can lead to the greatest rewards. So why hesitate when the only thing preventing you from succeeding is fear? Approaching a woman shouldn't be a moment of uncertainty. Instead, it's an opportunity to seize. Instead of pursuing their true desires, those who are content with what comes their way should remember that it's better to face rejection head-on than to live with the regret of never trying. Every opportunity lost is a lesson missed, and even though you can't go back in time, you can always learn and get better. So why not be brave and take the chance? The true question is not whether you will fall, but rather whether you will ever know what could have been if you never tried. Will you allow fear control your actions, or will you dare to take a chance? Picture yourself standing at the edge of a cliff with the huge unknown spread out before you. What if you leap? What if you leap? What if you soar? Accept the tension between our drive to approach something we want and our fear of unfavorable outcomes is known as the approach-avoidance conflict in psychology. The thrill of the unknown. When you meet a woman that catches your eye, ask yourself what could go wrong and see whether taking action can help you overcome this struggle and feel more satisfied and successful. A straightforward no, or the never-ending what if, that will follow you if you never take action. Being bold is more than just approaching women. It's a way of thinking and living that declares, I won't settle for less than what I want in life. Fear is a transient barrier, but regret can last a lifetime. So what's stopping you from being the man who takes what he wants from life number 2? The power of selective attention. Every time she opens her phone, a barrage of notifications from countless men vying for her attention floods her screen. This never-ending barrage of validation boosts her ego because who wouldn't feel empowered by being wanted by so many? However, in the midst of all this noise, a truly high-value man stands out by doing the exact opposite. He doesn't pay attention. A man approaches a woman, introduces himself, and treats her as though she's not the only one. This confuses her since she's used to men pursuing her, so why not this one? What makes him different? Abruptly, the woman starts to doubt her own value, wondering why she isn't unique enough to catch his attention the way she does with others. The psychology of this is intriguing. Research indicates that scarcity adds value to things we find difficult to obtain, making us want them even more. If you don't give her the approval she deserves, her value will increase. Man turns becomes a problem, a riddle that she must figure out. Why didn't he bow down at her feet like the others? Don't get me wrong, this question bothers her and makes her want his approval more than before. It's just a matter of knowing where to focus your time and efforts. A man of integrity understands the worth of his time and doesn't waste it on pointless activities. He pursues deeper interests and doesn't need to use social media to boost the egos of women. Rather than giving her the likes and comments that are the responsibility of so-called beta males who are ready to satisfy her insatiable need for validation, why not reverse the script and give her a reality check? Bringing her down in a unique and appealing way. 3. Stop rewarding bad behavior. Have you ever found yourself caught up in a cycle of needless arguments that leaves you feeling frustrated and exhausted? This serves as a reminder that true value is found in what you earn, rather than what is given away for free. By doing this, you distinguish yourself as someone who is genuinely worth pursuing, rather than just another admirer. I respect men who recognize how important it is to avoid falling into these traps when a woman persistently starts arguments without good cause. It's important to realize that not all battles are worth winning, but how can you handle this without surrendering your own values? It's frequently an indication that she may not fully respect or appreciate you at these situations. What message does this send? By standing back and not giving her the normal attention and care, you discreetly convey that such behavior has repercussions. Imagine remaining composed while she's anticipating a response. This is about maintaining your limits firmly, not about being icy or cruel. Those are drawn to those who exhibit emotional resilience and self-control, according to scientific studies. It's interesting to consider that silence can have greater influence than words. Women are frequently drawn to strength over weakness. What's the alternative if overreacting or getting too emotional is viewed as a vulnerability that could make you seem less valuable? Maintaining composure and, on occasion, selecting quiet. This improves your appeal, for example, and helps you keep control of the circumstance. Research have revealed that people who maintain their composure. When under pressure, people find you more appealing and capable. As a man who values integrity, you must make sure that your actions support this by establishing limits and refusing to condone inappropriate behavior. Not only creates a positive dynamic but also demonstrates your fortitude and resolve. What effects does this strategy have on the dynamics of your relationship? When you respond thoughtfully, succinctly, and to the point, you avoid needless conflict, and instead of rewarding inappropriate behavior, you demonstrate your worth. Number 4. Embracing a deeper connection. Therefore, the next time you find yourself on the verge of an argument, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? In other words, keeping your composure and refusing to reward inappropriate behavior is not just about keeping the peace. Have you ever wondered why certain men seem to attract ladies with ease? The fearless mindset. While others struggle, the key is a fearless mindset. I admire men because they see women as equals deserving of respect and admiration rather than as unapproachable goddesses. This perspective enables them to remain calm and collected even in the presence of the most attractive women, which in turn makes them even more desirable. But what about those who feel uncomfortable or inferior around women? Often, this is because they lack self-confidence and have a mindset that views women as pedestal. Here's where charisma really shines. The foundation of charisma is a strong, unshakable belief in oneself. Research indicates that charismatic people radiate an alluring energy that others find hard to resist. Charisma is more than just charm or smooth talking. If you could only picture yourself at your most confident, strong, and in-charge state, what would you do differently? And how would you interact with people, especially women? It will become harder for you to be intimidated or overly impressed by people as you develop this fearless mindset. Could it be that the real key to attracting women is simply believing you're worth it? Could it be that the answer lies not in changing how you interact with women, but in how you see yourself as you look at yourself? Think about these inquiries. Number 5. Never forget that you are your greatest asset. Value yourself and the world will too. Engage in purpose-driven activities to experience the transformation of your life. A man with lofty ideals and ambitious aspirations has no time for pointless diversion or pointless flirtations. Instead than wasting energy on transient thrills, consider this. Are you waiting for good fortune to come your way? Or are you taking control of your life and making it happen? Invested in creating a life you can be genuinely proud of. You have the power to choose between being ordinary and extraordinary. Imagine life as a battlefield. The proper tools are needed to overcome obstacles in both love and work. Your drive and strength are your tools for seduction, a happy life, a toned physique, and a polished look. These are your arsenal, therefore they're not simply good to have. Our path to success involves daily habits. What if you could master these techniques to not only captivate others but also command respect and admiration, such as regular exercise, self-discipline, and proactive job searches? Why can certain males so easily capture attention? Some are inconspicuous, yet it's obvious that they've mastered the music genre. Personal development. According to scientific research, persons who are proactive and goal-oriented not only have higher levels of success, but also draw greater attention from others. Imagine a man who has a clear purpose in life, makes investments in his physical and mental health, and is relentless in his pursuit of excellence. Are you prepared to become the best version of yourself? Remember, changing your mindset is just as important to leading a richer life as making external changes. So, are you prepared to take charge of your life and make a difference? The sixth battleground is yours. Don't alter your plans for her. High-worth guys recognize the value of their time and lead fulfilling lives through their employment, interests, interactions with others, and goals. They don't forsake prior commitments in order to spend time with a stunning woman. While it may seem considerate to put her first, you're effectively telling her that she's more important than everything else in your life, even if you don't really know her. Are you treating her like a celebrity before she's earned it? Remember, interesting men have lives of their own and aren't just focused on women in social settings. She will discover that she needs to put in more effort to get your attention because she understands that time is a resource that cannot be replaced. If you're a Stoic, like the ancient philosophers who advocated for emotional self-control, they would contend that it's not about playing games, but rather setting boundaries and respect right away. By sticking to your plans, you show her that you are a man of value, and that's far more attractive in the long run. Number 7. Embracing directness and realizing that people value things more when they have to work for them. If she sees that you have a busy, interesting life and that your time is precious, she will be more intrigued and invested in getting to know you. Accuracy. In this section, we talked about the necessity of being straightforward and precise. High-value men recognize the need of communicating in a clear and succinct manner, particularly when interacting with women. Refrain from making assumptions and from acting like just another friend. Avoid utilizing excessive amounts of emoticons or employing absurd language in your texts. Live genuinely. A high-value man is straightforward and direct, affirming his masculine nature. He never wastes time on pointless conversations or idle gossip, preferring to accept rejection and move on. Furthermore, a high-value man doesn't waste time arguing with a woman who doesn't respect him. Instead, he ignores or ghosts her, sending the clear message that she must behave herself and that he can replace her if necessary. Many men find themselves in unhealthy partnerships. Avoid putting your emotions at danger by avoiding this trap. Select your friends carefully and don't spend time with people who don't deserve it. Why waste valuable time with individuals who don't value you? Take emotional fortitude as an example. Research indicates that individuals who engage in direct communication have less stress and more positive connections. Investing in sincere relationships is preferable to having superficial exchanges, don't you think? Think about these questions as you work toward developing the habit of being direct and succinct in your own life. In conclusion, meaningful relationships and a high-value life. Precision and directness are essential for preserving high-value relationships. The eighth aspect of independence is learning to accept solitude. By doing this, you'll discover the actual meaning of independence and autonomy. Remain true to yourself, communicate clearly, and make intelligent companionship choices. Have you ever wondered why men who value themselves so highly cherish their alone time and use it for introspection, development, and self-improvement? These men are aware of a crucial truth. They don't need a relationship to validate their existence, and their self-worth is unrelated to their relationship status. Instead, they exude a sense of wholeness and confidence that others find incredibly attractive. Does this mean that men of high value aren't social or don't enjoy meaningful relationships? On the contrary, They frequently cherish meaningful connections. However, they recognize the difference between needing and wanting someone. Instead, they seek someone who can improve the life they've already built. This selectiveness is based on self-respect and the realization that not everyone will live up to their high standards. Begin by discovering how to appreciate your own company. How frequently do you give yourself space to think things through? Ambitions and desires. You can achieve your goals of becoming a highly valued person by learning to accept and value who you are. Think about this. On this trip, independence is a strength rather than just a preference. According to studies, those who feel at ease in their own company typically have greater self-esteem and stronger emotional health. This is because they don't depend on outside approval to validate their sense of value. Instead, they are confident in who they are and what they have to offer. This self-assurance is not only endearing, but also magnetic. Acquiring independence is the first step toward becoming a highly valuable individual. It's about realizing that you're enough on your own, and that a relationship is a benefit rather than a requirement. This kind of thinking not only strengthens your sense of self, but also draws those who value and respect your independence. 9 is the number. The ability to be self-aware is a crucial characteristic that sets high-value men apart. But what does it actually mean to be self-aware, and how can this quality change your relationships? Self-awareness is the capacity to have a profound understanding of your own strengths, weaknesses, and the consequences of your actions. It's not just about accepting your flaws as chances for improvement. Men that possess strong values are individuals who don't hesitate to face their shortcomings, accept accountability for their deeds, grow from their mistakes, and never stop trying to become better. Think about. According to research, self-aware people have higher levels of success in both their personal and professional lives. The Harvard Business Review found that self-awareness was a significant factor in leadership effectiveness, with self-aware leaders demonstrating greater success in team management and decision-making. This principle also holds true in relationships, as when you are confident and authentic in your interactions, you naturally draw others to you. However, the question is, how often do you reflect on your own actions and their consequences? High-value men consistently use self-awareness as a technique for personal development because they are conscious of their value and will not accept anything less than what they deserve. Imagine the impact of establishing and continuously keeping clear boundaries based on your beliefs in all areas of your life, from your career to your relationships. Observe this strong sense of self-esteem. This persistent dedication to personal growth and self-respect improves your life and makes you a more desirable companion. Ask yourself how self-aware you are and whether you're willing to face and learn from your flaws. Embracing self-awareness isn't just about knowing your strengths. It's about using your understanding of yourself to become the best version of who you are. Women, and in fact, everyone, are drawn to men who exude this kind of quiet confidence and humility, who are on a continual journey of self-improvement. This is what distinguishes high-value guys from others, what makes them stand out, and what makes them attractive to others. 10th. It's a sad reality that the good guy curse exists. Being too kind can often result in being taken advantage of, particularly by women who don't value you. If you've ever tried to be too respectful or generous but were met with indifference, you're not alone. However, the issue isn't with being too kind. Rather, it's with being too available. Why does this happen? It's easy to realize that when kindness is valued, you should reevaluate your strategy. Demonstrating his ability to walk away with intention is the strongest and longest move a guy can make. This is about defining boundaries and maintaining your dignity, not about playing games. The attention economy thrives on the idea that men will always be there to give more. But what happens when you stop playing that game and reserve your attention for those who truly value it? A Stoic would advise detaching from the need for external validation and focusing on self-respect. Consider this. Many men double down on kindness in an effort to win back a woman's attention, sending more messages, giving more gifts. But what if the opposite is true? By stepping back, you reset the dynamic and show her that respect is a two-way street. According to a University of Toronto study, scarcity raises value. The more something is out of reach, the more we want it. What's the takeaway? This idea also applies to relationships. When you stop being the good guy who's always available, you become more intriguing and valued. By ending the time you waste on people who don't value your kindness and demonstrating your self-respect, by walking away when you feel unappreciated, you'll not only change the dynamics of your relationship but also reclaim your dignity and sense of worth. After all, respect starts with how you treat yourself. Number 11. Due to human nature, limited things are valued more highly. This is particularly true in dating dynamics where males may unintentionally convey desperation by responding to women rapidly. Ladies skilled at interpreting these indications may interpret constant messaging as a sign of low self-esteem. But why does this occur? It all comes down to how scarcity increases value. Just as a limited edition object might fetch a greater price, so too does someone's attention increase in value when it's harder to get. Women recognize that men are frequently busy, so they don't anticipate continual communication. Instead, they may push limits in order to determine a man's true worth. It frequently backfires on women when males bombard them with signals in an attempt to validate their value. They can start to view this excessive attention as less desirable and withdraw as a result. People tend to value things more when they're not constantly available, according to studies. For example, psychologist Robert Kalin's research shows that desirability grows with scarcity, a notion that also applies to relationships. The key to managing this well is balance. Your attention becomes more valued when you keep a sense of balance and avoid being overly available. Number 12. By fostering a dynamic where your attention is perceived as more precious, you can foster a healthier and more balanced relationship. This doesn't mean playing games or being dishonest. Rather, it means respecting your own time and setting boundaries so that your presence becomes something appreciated rather than expected. Ask yourself what happens when you withhold your attention just enough to create interest. How will this affect the way she values your interactions? The reality about the influence of women's need for approval at home. Women can be more overt in their need for acceptance and acclaim than males are. This dynamic can affect how you are viewed and valued. To stand out and pique interest, you must set yourself apart from the majority of men who excessively devote their time and energy. Here's a crucial step. Join the 5% of men who take a different tack instead of persistently reaching out and scheduling plans. This approach disrupts the norm, which views men as eager and always available. Instead, you should take a step back and concentrate on your own interests and boundaries. When a woman expects you to initiate contact, whenever she may be attempting to transfer responsibility to you, you tactfully show that your time is precious. This can be used as an opportunity to reevaluate your strategy. Clearly define your boundaries about your accessibility. Tell her you have other priorities and that if she wants to meet, she should make the first move. This tactic aims to build respect and self-worth, rather than just playing hard to get. Studies back up this strategy. Setting boundaries can increase respect and interest because people value what they can't easily obtain. For example, a study published in the journal Social Psychology found that people who practice self-regulation and established clear boundaries were more likely to be desired and respected in relationships. So, how do you put this into practice? Start by putting your priorities and passions first. Demonstrate her that you value her and that you lead a full life away from the partnership. This will increase your attractiveness and guarantee that she views you as a man who values himself. When a man is too accessible or easily approachable, things can quickly become predictable and boring. However, two women enjoy men who test them. Have you ever wondered why women are frequently drawn to men who seem to challenge them? It turns out that a hint of mystery and challenge can be immensely seductive. But the allure of a problem adds a level of excitement and involvement. To put it another way, when a man withholds his whole focus, he turns into a puzzle that needs to be solved. Inquisitiveness. It's amazing that this idea has scientific support, since it can create a dynamic where a woman feels like she has to earn his love and attention, which frequently results in her investing more in the relationship. Research on the chase in relationships indicates that when people perceive a partner as somewhat elusive, their interest in commitment often grows stronger. So how can you take advantage of this? The key isn't to play games. Rather, it's to strike a balance by not always being available and demonstrating that you have your own passions and pursuits. This doesn't mean ignoring or neglecting. Rather, it means maintaining a sense of self and purpose that makes others value your presence more. Studies have shown that the excitement of a challenge can intensify feelings of attraction. In essence, embracing a little strategic distance can turn a relationship into an engaging journey rather than a static routine. Ask yourself how you feel about relationships that are too easy. Aren't the ones that require a little effort often the most rewarding? By offering just the right amount of challenge, you invite deeper connections and create a dynamic where your presence is both cherished and sought after. It's important to make sure your worth is understood and valued, rather than trying to be overly dramatic. 3. Disregarding women makes them feel competitive within. Have you ever wondered why ignoring someone could pique their interest? When a male turns away from a woman, it can cause an interesting psychological reaction. Like everyone else, women have an innate competitive tendency that is frequently heightened in social situations. When a woman feels ignored, her competitive impulses may be triggered, and she may begin to wonder why she isn't getting the attention she deserves and whether others are. This response has deep psychological roots because people are frequently motivated by the need to succeed or be appreciated. When a woman feels unnoticed, it can cause feelings of jealousy and insecurity. She may then start comparing herself to other women and work even harder to get that attention back. The more a man retreats, the more determined she may become to establish her value and catch his attention. Think about the social psychology phenomena known as the scarcity effect, in which people give greater weight to items that are thought to be rare. This theory applies in this situation because, by putting yourself out of sight, you unintentionally become more appealing. Research backs up this claim. People are more likely to desire what is less accessible, according to a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. So how can you use this insight effectively? It's not about playing games, but rather understanding human behavior by gently withdrawing and concentrating on your own interests. You set up a situation where the woman feels pressured to vie for your attention. This strategy plays on her competitive side, making her more determined to stand out and get your attention. Consider how someone's desire to get your attention might be heightened by your absence. Then, consider how to carefully balance your presence to pique real interest by evoking a sense of scarcity. It's a subtle art of making your presence more valued and desired, leading to a more meaningful connection. In essence, withdrawing your attention can intensify someone's interest, not through manipulation, but rather as a natural reaction to perceived scarcity. 4 refusals lead to obsession. What makes someone more attractive when they are rejected? It's a conundrum that appeals to our feelings. Rejection, especially from someone who is typically nice or handsome, can often ignite a strong yearning. This is about a basic psychological response, not only romantic pursuits. When someone, especially a woman, feels rejected, denial serves as a coping tool. It may awaken a long-standing anxiety of falling short. The fear stems not from actuality, but rather from the belief that rejection means one is insufficient. Stoics advise us to distance ourselves from outside approval, but in contemporary relationships, rejection can seem like an outright attack on one's sense of self-worth. This struggle on an emotional level feeds into obsession. So why does this happen? Think about the allure of the unavailable. When someone consistently turns you down, they start to pose a challenge, a riddle to be solved because the mind obsesses on what it cannot have. According to a study on romantic rejection, when someone is rejected, brain regions linked to addiction light up, demonstrating that rejection and denial can indeed trigger obsession, much like a drug. But what does this mean for you? Should you be concerned about rejection? The true lesson is in realizing the dynamics of attraction and your own worth. When someone isn't interested in you, it's important to remember that this doesn't make you less valuable. Rather than obsessing over someone who isn't reciprocating, you should focus on yourself. Use the Stoic ideals. In the end, balance is key. Recognize when denial is triggering an obsession. Instead of focusing on what you can control, ask yourself why you are chasing after someone who isn't interested. Is it really about them? Or is it about proving something to yourself? By understanding the origins of this obsession, you can free yourself from its grip. Unwell obsession and turn your attention inward, keeping in mind that your value isn't determined by the approval of others. When you genuinely understand this, you take back control of your emotions instead of allowing them to control you. It all comes down to appreciating who you are, regardless of whether or not someone else feels the same way. Learning the art of attraction requires comprehension of intricate psychological dynamics. One such fascinating idea is the power of ignoring a woman. By directing your attention in certain ways, you can captivate her with a sense of mystery and value. Keep in mind that this isn't about playing games. Rather, it's about developing a healthy relationship and proving your own worth. Begin to ignore her, and observe how the dynamics are altered by this small change. The amazing thing about women is that, in a crowded area, your attraction is frequently enhanced by scarcity. This means that ignoring women can help you stick out from the crowd and become more intriguing and desirable, which gives you a new angle on how to attract women. If you thought these thoughts were insightful, please help us by clicking the like button. In addition to leaving your comments and subscribing to the Stoic Goddess, don't forget to click the notification bell to see more fantastic videos. We appreciate you viewing, and we hope to see you again soon.